Hi everyone! Today I'm taking on the challenge of transforming this dark and neglected basement into an inspiring creative space. This video was made possible thanks to Slim Furniture. I've always wished I had a space or a room that was just dedicated to testing out new design ideas and just to experiment. So when I got the opportunity to use this space here and give it a temporary makeover before it gets renovated, I jumped at the chance. The walls were in really bad shape, so the first thing I did was patch them up and give them a fresh coat of white paint to brighten up the room. I also experimented with a whitewash treatment on the shelving unit to make it blend in with the wall. Just painting the room and removing those security bars already made a huge difference in the room. But this wall section here still has a lot of imperfections, like these bumps and of course that cable sticking out of the wall. This wall is actually the perfect place to test out this idea I had to build a wall panel that could easily be installed and then taken down later. Now my initial thought for this panel was to make it solid across that section. But then I saw these images on Pinterest and I changed my mind and decided to incorporate a lighting element in my design. So off I went to the hardware store to get the materials that I needed. I had two 4x8 sheets of 1/4-inch thick plywood cut into sections of different widths. And I also got a bunch of 1x2 furring strips. These only cost $1 each, but there's a lot of crooked ones like this, so it does require a lot of sorting to find the straight pieces. By having everything cut at the hardware store, everything fit nicely into the car. I designed the panel to be built into sections, and every section is built the same way, with the 1x2 screwed in from the back with 3/4-inch screws and positioned so that they stick out by about 1/4 inch. I spaced out the sections to have 3 gaps of 3/4 inch and 1 3-inch gap. And I used temporary bracing to hold them in place while I attached the 1x2s at the top and bottom. The wider gap is where I'm installing the light feature. I used a remote-controlled LED light strip that I got on Amazon. The adhesive backing makes it easy to install, but it didn't stick that well to the wood, so I ended up using stronger double-sided tape to make it stay. I left the gap at the bottom of the panel so that the wires could run along it and then come out of the side of the panel to plug into the outlet. The last thing I did was add 2 furring strips across the width of the panel to make it sturdier. The entire wall panel is 78 inches wide and 8 feet tall, about 1/2 inch shorter than the actual ceiling height. So I was able to easily lift up the panel and clear the ceiling. Using furniture sliders make it much easier to maneuver on my own, but it still took a bit of back and forth to get the panel flush against the wall. I used wood shims on both sides of the panel to wedge it into place while I attached it to the wall. Because it's very light and it rests on the floor, I only had to use a few screw anchors to secure it. I used 3/4-inch screen molding to fill in the smaller gaps. The fit is tight enough for them to stay in place without having to glue them, so they will be easy to remove later to access the screws when it's time to remove the panel. And for the light, I chose to use corrugated plastic sheets instead of plexiglass, mainly because it's easier to cut and it's also less expensive. I wanted to give it a more frosted look, so I first tried sanding the surface with sandpaper. Now this worked, but using a spray turned out to be much quicker and easier. And just like the molding, it wedges into the gap. I love this project because for just $75 in materials, it made a huge impact on the room, but in a way that's also easy to remove later. The last thing I had to address in the room is the carpet. It will be completely replaced when the room is renovated, but it is in such bad shape that I wanted to figure out a way to cover it up somehow. I could have tried using carpet tiles, but I wanted to see if these floor mats from IKEA could also work as carpet tiles. They cost a bit less per square feet than the carpet tiles, and I really like the design and the texture, and I thought they would add a fun element to the room. I wasn't sure if the double-sided carpet tape would hold them in place, but because the floor mats have a rubber backing and the existing carpet is very low pile, it worked out really well. Everything stays in place and you can hardly see the seams. The carpet tape can leave a residue on the existing carpet, so if you want to keep the original carpet in good condition, I would do a test first. Now this corner of the room is ready for some furniture. I wanted this to be a lounging space to hang out, and since I'll be using this room only for a few months, I needed furniture that could easily be moved and adapt to another space. So I was really happy when Slim Furniture offered to send me their compact line of modular furniture to try out. Every module has the same base that's assembled using 2 ratchet straps. Everything else just slips into place, including the legs. So there's no other tools needed to put this together. Every module also has a storage compartment, which is great for small spaces. I was a bit hesitant about the white cushions, but the covers come off and they're machine washable, so they'll be easy to clean when I need to. I had a lot of fun playing around with different layouts, and as you can see, you can make many different arrangements depending on how you want to use the space. This basement has come a long way since I started, and it's already inspired a few DIY projects, like these barn doors and hardware that I made for the shelving unit. And to add my personal touch, I also ended up making my own accessories, including the striped curtains. Now this is a comfy spot to lounge and come up with some more creative ideas. I've used a lot of different products in the various projects that I've shown you in this video, so I'll have links to everything, including the slim furniture, in the video description below. And I'll be sharing with you how I made the barn doors, the curtains, and the other small accessories that I made for the room in a video coming up. And I'm also going to be working on part 2 of this makeover, where I'll be tackling the rest of the basement. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss those videos. And if you want to get sneak peeks at what I'm working on, follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.